In today's video, we are going to be talking all about the emotional payoffs of binge eating that can actually keep you stuck in the struggle. So many people want to break free, and so many have the steps and what seems like the tools or the tricks or whatever that might be. And then they wonder, like, why can't I use them? Why can't I apply them? Why do I know what to do, but I can't seem to actually make myself do it? So the first part of this is perhaps you have the wrong tools, right? We see many women that come to us for support that have little pieces of the puzzle, but they don't actually have a step-by-step system to break free from binge and emotional eating. So let's assume you have the correct tools, okay? So you have the correct tools, but you're still feeling like you can't quite let it go. So we're going to be talking about that today. What are those reasons, those subconscious reasons below the surface that might keep you stuck in the struggle? And then what you can do to break free, to get unstuck, to transcend this. So disclaimer here, you don't have to have everything figured out to stop binge eating. You don't have to have all your limiting beliefs healed. You do not have to have all your wounding or trauma or everything healed. You don't have to go to 10 years of therapy to do it. You can break free from binge eating right away. Right away. There is an objective step-by-step way to do this. And healing these things, uncovering these things, uncovering maybe the deeper reasons that might drive someone to do this behavior or might just keep someone in a pattern of self-sabotage altogether is a beautiful way to grow as a human. It's a beautiful way to transcend patterns and behaviors that hold you back in all areas of your life. So first things first, I want to talk about kind of the things that fall under the category of limiting beliefs, let's call them. So one big payoff that I see with many women is they feel unsafe without binge eating. And here's what I mean. So logically, you and I sitting here, right, we know that binge eating isn't safe. But let's say someone has been hurt in a relationship and they date when they're not binge eating and thin. All of a sudden, they associate dating with being hurt, and what keeps them from dating? Binge eating, right? So, there's other things too. Another big thing I see that keeps people stuck in the struggle of binge eating is fear of life without binge eating. Fear of what will look like. It's fear of the unknown. What will I do with my time? What will I do with my gifts and strengths? Will I go put myself in that job that I have been scared to do and the binge eating's kept me away from? Will I actually step in my power enough to leave the unhealthy relationship? Will I feel confident enough to stand for what I deserve? Will I leave this current position and go pursue my dreams? There is some fear of the unknown that I see with so many people. And then binge eating is kind of the tool that is used to keep you in your comfort zone, keep you playing small. Now, you and I know that binge eating is not comfortable. In fact, it's the opposite. But our bodies feel safe in stuff that's familiar, right? At the end of the day, we are programmed for survival. Anything that's unknown, anything that's in new territory registers as a threat. It registers as scary. So many people get in this pattern of playing small, of staying stuck, staying in their comfort zone, and they fear these things and the unknown, what life will look like without binge eating, without maybe this old identity, and subconsciously they keep the behavior on repeat because they haven't transcended that. They haven't transcended their fear of the unknown. And last but not least, in the limiting belief department, there are and this is one of the most common, is just a lack of belief in oneself. So it's called low self-efficacy. It's a lack of belief in oneself to achieve desired outcome, to have the life you want, to have the relationship you want, to have the finances you want, to have freedom. And so many people get stuck in this struggle of thinking hey, this is all there is. I am branded with this disorder. I am a food addict. I have this. And I'm never breaking free, and I'm always going to have to control it, and I'm always going to have to fight. So someone that believes that versus someone that believes freedom is possible, they're going to operate in two completely different ways, right? So you want to really work and uncover these unconscious limiting beliefs and then work on transcending them. And so next, there's that piece, right? So there's those things underneath the surface that could be keeping you in that self-sabotage, keeping you stuck. And before I go to the other more like emotional, kind of transparent and easy to uncover payoffs, take a second right now and really reflect back on those few that I just said. And one, two, maybe all three of those might be true to you. And even if you don't transcend them today in this video, which is totally understandable, knowing them, having that awareness is amazing because you can see them when they come up and you can keep choosing that more empowering choice anyway. So the next part is just kind of the emotional payoff. And this is a little more transparent. It's not as like secret underneath the surface. So you might be stressed. You might be overwhelmed. For me, when I used to binge, a lot of like when I had overwhelm, uncertainty, or unknown, I would like need to make a decision, couldn't make the decision, binge. It was kind of like my distraction from what was happening, my escape from what was happening. On the flip side of this, some people really crave variety and they don't have fun, play, variety in their lives. So they use binge eating for this like secret adrenaline rush, this little rebel, this escape, this fun, this thrill. And so once again, the logical you that's watching this video probably doesn't even think that that's real. But in those moments, it would be, you would not believe what our body, what our physiology does to get our needs met. So this next part is really like, is binge eating fulfilling a need? And is it an escape? Is it a payoff? Is it fun? Is it thrill? Is it giving you uncertainty and variety? Is it giving you certainty and safety because you're protecting yourself with it? You're playing small with it. We all have these needs. And what happens is if we're not fulfilling these needs, sometimes we will go out and try to fill them with food. If we're feeling low in the self-love department, for example, if we're feeling like we're craving love and connection and we have an open evening and we haven't done the work to sort through that craving of loneliness and love and connection and all of those things, right? We might reach for food in this moment. So for this part of the video, really think like, is there any payoff? Is there any benefit to the binge eating? And then you want to start filling your life up with those things that you are looking for with binge eating. Because if you take something away for your life that gives you all these so-called payoffs, they're not real payoffs because literally it's just a 30-second at best little hit of dopamine and escape, and then all the repercussion comes after. But if you feel like it gives you those things and then we take it away, it will feel like something's missing. So you want to make sure to honor your needs, fill yourself up, and really take care of those needs so you don't kind of develop this false story that binge eating, overeating, losing control with your food, escaping with your food, distracting, you name it, fills those gaps. It's up to you to fill them with supportive, nourishing, loving care. And so many of us deny our own needs. We feel like it's weak to get our needs met, to ask for support, and you are worthy of having needs. You're worthy of having needs met. As humans, we have needs on this planet, and most of us are raised feeling self-conscious or scared or nervous to actually get them met, right? So this is my call to you to really dive into maybe some of those needs that aren't getting met and figure out more positive, sustainable, nourishing, and empowering ways to get those needs met. And if you're struggling with emotional eating, can't figure out all this stuff that I just mentioned, know that we got you. For our women in our program, we have an entire portion of the program dedicated to this, and not only uncovering it, but transcending it so these subconscious limiting beliefs can't hold you back. And I have a training just below this video that will support you in the first few steps of that. So before you go, click that link, download the free training. You're going to love it. And if you enjoyed this video, please click like, hit subscribe. We do videos like this every Tuesday, and I'd love for you to comment too. I'd love to know if this helped you and what you think, so that way each week I can show up and answer your questions and serve you best.